was a difficult year, obviously, last year, and we had 4 really good seasons before that. So to take such a dramatic fall was disappointing. But I don't think that, although the West has really improved, I don't think that there's any reason why this team is over, or we're rebuilding, or we don't have a shot at being a terrific team again. So I can't wait. It's been a really long summer. I feel like, obviously within the financial model of the club, we've had to make some decisions, but that's always been the case. So I think we've also really done a good job of creating a vision for how we want to play, what type of team we're going to be, from re-signing Alvin to the type of draft picks, free agents, and those old guys that we re-signed. So I think we're in a good place to exceed expectations.
Is your optimism based on the style you're going to play more in?
Well, I think it's one, the style we're going to play. 2, hopefully we won't have any freaky injuries, trades, or coaching changes that we went through last year. That was a lot to go through. Not to mention that we tried to change our style of play dramatically. So, there's a lot to throw at a team in one season. It's not that remarkable that we didn't make the playoffs if you look at it from that perspective.
Do you like flying under the radar? Because since you've been here, you've never really been a team that's been beneath everybody's eyes.
I'm fine with it. I don't really. My number one priority is how do I feel about my team. And then if we're good enough that everyone's going to put a bullseye on our back, fine, we'll deal with it. If we're not good enough and people want to underestimate us, perhaps like they may be this year, that's fine too. That's the position you have to take, is make each position that you take at the start of the season a positive one, and look at ways that it can help motivate you or find comfort in that. More than anything, finding comfort so that you can just wipe away all that extracurricular talk and just worry about building a team.
Where does the defensive rebounding come from in this basketball team?
Well, I think we obviously Amari is going to be a big presence for us offensively, and he's going to have to rebound for us. But I really like our center position. We got Robin and Channing, who are 2 7-footers who are near thereof that are active and willing to move their feet and rebound and hustle. So I'm really excited about that. I don't know if I've ever been on a team with that type of dimensions and 2 guys in that position. And I don't think either one of them's an all-star type player, but they're 2 guys that bring a lot to the table, and especially in complement of one another. So I'm really happy with the center position. And obviously that's without talking about Lou or even Jared or Grant, guys that can rebound. So it might not be our forte, but maybe we'll surprise people. Well, I think we'll be much more sure of how we're going to play. But it's really, I think, unfair to talk too much about the time we had with Shaq, because we had so many things happen. We played a portion of a season with Mike. We lost on basically a really kind of tragic ending to game 1 in San Antonio. We go into a new season with a new coach and a new style of play that I think blurred the lines for even Shaq. I think everyone was starting anew, whereas Shaq kind of fitted in the end of that first season he was here. So you throw that at us, then you make the trade with Roger and Boris, then we fire the coach. I think it was just one of those seasons we could never get off the ground. I think it would be probably a little bit unfair to pin all that on the Shaq experiment, as people are calling it. So I think, yeah, sure, he probably is more suited to play one way, and the rest of us were more suited to play another way. But he fit in quite well, at the end of that first season he was here. So I don't think that's totally clear enough to say that we didn't fit together.
You find it a bit ironic you were so wholeheartedly going back to the Mike system?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think that when Steve Kerr hired Terry, that's the way he wanted us to play. And somehow we got a little bit away from that. So I think that's always been Steve's vision for the club. And I think the fans really enjoyed it, and it suits our team. I think that if we try to play a different style, we're not going to reach our potential. Joyous.
Joyous. Oh, you're always joyous.
Physically, I feel great.
Too old for it.
I am too old. I feel great. So I'll keep going until I don't feel great. And it'd be for you guys to judge, or me to judge myself. But I don't feel any difference through my summer training, and even the limited amount of time I spent playing basketball in September here with the guys. I don't feel aging or any different. So maybe you can ask the other guys, and they'll say I'm full of it. But well, I think our improvement is going to come in two ways. One, a clear vision of how we're going to play. Last year we got kind of sidetracked, tried to play a different style, and I don't think we really necessarily announced. It just through practice we started becoming something that none of us were really aware or comfortable with the direction we're going. So I think having a clear vision of how we want to play from the start is going to be important and an improvement from last year. And I also think the center position. I think Robin's improvement this year will be noted, and I think Channing brings a new dimension to our team, and the depth of that position will be interesting to see how that plays out. Because other than that, we're pretty much going to be very similar to the way we've been over the last 5 years.
Does it feel like a make or break season?
We didn't make the playoffs last year, so in some ways last year could have been a make or break season, but the way I look at it is that you should have the attitude every year is a make or break season. And in our league, I think it can be so fragile, the balance and chemistry on a team, and how that affects the ultimate success of a season, or at least, for me, I think people should be judged on how close they come to their potential. So I don't know what our potential is, but let's see how close we can get to that, and then we can judge ourselves after that and see where that allows us to measure up in the league. But we got to have an attitude like we want to make the most of this great opportunity we have this season, and if it's make or break, we can decide that after. But right now, we better either use that as incentive or forget about it and just try to wholeheartedly build our team every day. But you can't really. If you're not good at it, you can't walk around with that over your back. If you like that pressure, then maybe you use that as your MO. But I think as a group, it's probably better to just find that hunger and desire and commonality from the start, regardless of what the word is on the street. Oh, we want to see more of his best. We want to see him, first of all, physically and mentally fit and able after a difficult. Really, he's had a difficult career. I was looking at his file this morning. Physical. It's 2 or 3 times the size of a 35-year-old. He's gone through a lot, and that's difficult. And he's been done remarkably well, considering all the things that have been thrown at him physically, and the residual effects mentally. So, I think he's got a fighting spirit and an ability to heal. And, I hope I'm not being wishful in wanting him to be up to his best this year, and hopefully see him improve and exceed what he's done in the past. So I don't know if that means numbers. It could mean just his overall impact and willingness to fit into it.
He's not filed private.
What's that?
He's not filed private. How'd you get it?
Well, he was holding it. I didn't actually flip through the pages, but noticing the thickness of mine and his was impressive.
Do you anticipate a better ambiance about the team, the way you guys operate day to day?
It's got to be better. We've got to have a better vision from the outset, and we've got to have a better. I think that it's hard when you're not clear on who you are. It's hard to really have a great chemistry. I think last year we had a lot of uncertainty. So this year I think we're going to be much clearer of who we are and how we want to play, and that's going to allow us to build a chemistry and belief in one another. It's really hard when things are changing and moving for you to have that sense of, okay, we all understand what we're trying to accomplish, now let's build a team together. When guys aren't even sure if they're in the same movie, it's hard to for it to be a successful one.
Is that the motivation for coming back so early this year and going wait for Labor Day?
I think everyone was inspired to do better than we did last year. So we saw a lot of guys. I was back in August, and there was 9 guys in there in August. So that's what that can only help. And I think it's just a sign that we want to do better.